Hello friends, in this lecture we are going to make a sketch. So first of all we will have to go to the sketch mode and then we can see the sketch. So this is the drawing we have to make. So in this drawing we can see we have a lots of curved parts. So now we need to think where we have to start making this sketch. So what I want you to do is take a pause and try to make this sketch by yourself. And then if you can't make this, you can continue watching this video. So there can be different ways of making this sketch. And we need to find out the way which is most optimized. It means which way take the least time. So if we take a look at this sketch, we can see we have some rectangles inside this sketch. So inside this sketch we can see we have a bigger rectangle. So if I draw a line like this and then draw a line like this here. Now we can see we have a rectangle. This is the rectangle we have. So the dimension of this rectangle we can see is given, that is 50 and 200. So we are going to make this drawing by making this rectangle. Okay, so now let's continue with the software. I go to CATIA and then go to rectangle. We can take corner rectangle. So the first point will be 0 and then 0. Press enter. And the dimensions, as we know, width is given 200. So this is 200 and then press tab. Height is 50 and then press enter. And then click on fit view. So the basic rectangle is ready. Let's pan in here and then zoom in. So onto this rectangle, if I go to the sketch, we can see we have two more rectangles. So first let me undo this and then we can take some different color. And now we can see we have one more rectangle here. On this left side, this is the rectangle we have. So if we want to find out the dimensions of this rectangle, so the width of this rectangle is 40 and height of this rectangle. So we need this height value. Okay, so the value of this height will be, so this total value is 90 and this up to this value is 50. So the value will be 90 minus 50, that is 40. And similarly, we have this rectangle on the right side. So it is similar rectangle. So now we can insert these two rectangles. I go to rectangle tool and I want to draw the rectangle from this end point. So the width of this rectangle, as we know, is 40 and then height will also be 40. And similarly, we need to make this rectangle on the right side. So rectangle, select this end point and now we have to make this rectangle on the left side. So when I take the mouse on the left side, we can see this width value will be negative. It means we need to insert the width value in negative direction. So the width will be negative 40. It's negative 40 and then height is also 40 and then press enter. So in this way we have drawn both the rectangles. So once we drawn both the rectangles, we can insert the value of these fillets later. So after this, we have to make these cutout parts. So let's focus on this cut section. So in this cut section, we can see the distance from this center. Okay, let's take some different color. So the distance from this center up to this center is given 120. And then we need to find out the center. We need to find out the location of the center. So location will be from this height we can see. So the height is given 20. And then the distance from this vertical line up to the center is given 40. Okay, so we have both the values. And then we need to also find the radius of the circle. So the radius is given 10. Okay, so all the values are given. So let's go to CATIA and then I draw a rectangle like this. Draw a rectangle. So we know the dimension of this rectangle. So go to dimension, make a double click on this, insert this dimension, and then double click. This value is 140 as we know, and this vertical value, dimension once again, vertical value we know is 20. So now we have inserted the dimensions. We need to apply the location. So before the location, we can also insert the circle. So go to circle and then make a right click and click midpoint. So the radius of the circle is, as we know, is 10. Once again, I go to circle, take the mouse onto this vertical line, then make a right click and select midpoint, and then radius of this circle is 10. Press enter. And now we have to specify the location of the center. So the location of the center can be, let's go to sketch once again. This value is 20 from this horizontal line, and from this vertical line this value is 40. Okay, so go to constraint, select this vertical line and select the center. To select the center, we can select the outer perimeter of the circle and then select the center like this. So this value we know is 40. Okay, so the distance is, this value is 120, not 140. So we need to insert this value properly. Okay, select normal to view and then zoom out. This value is 120. So insert this value 120 and then zoom in. And now we have to place the dimension with respect to the horizontal line. So constraint, select this line and select the center. So select the center like this. This value is 20. And now we can zoom in. So after we have created the basic sketch, we can trim this inside lines. So go to quick trim, select these extra lines which we don't need, and also this line and also this line. And after that we need to make this cutout part on the left section. So let's first to undo this, all this, undo all this, and then for this we need to find out the location. So to find out the location, we can see, first thing we need to find out the location of the center. So we can see the distance is 20 and the vertical distance from this horizontal line is 40. So we have the coordinate, and the distance between the center, from the center to the center, is this value is 30, and the radius is given, that is 5. So it means the total width will be 10. Okay, so now we can make this. Go to CATIA and then once again we can continue with rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. Draw a rectangle like this, and then inside this rectangle place the dimension. So with this vertical line we know it is 30. So make a double click and insert the value 30, and the width we know is, it will be 10. So this value is 10, and then we can insert the circles. So the radius of the circle is, we know, is 5, and the radius of the second circle will be, we can select the midpoint from here and then click. So in this way we can select the circles. And now we have to specify the location. For this, select constraint, and the distance is 40 and this distance is 20. Okay, so from this line to this center it is 40, and then once again from this vertical line to the center it is 20. So double click and then insert the value 20. Okay, so the the dimension we have inserted is up to this point, so we need to delete the dimension. So make an undo, once again undo, we don't need this dimension. Once again insert the dimension, select this vertical line, and then we need to select the center. So make sure the center is selected. Okay, now center is selected. Now we need to insert this value, that is 20. And similar thing we have to do on the right side. For this we can use the copy and paste feature. Also we can mirror this geometry. So we have multiple options to do this. One more thing we can do is continue making the sketch from the scratch. So I go to line tool and then I select this horizontal line, make a right click and select midpoint and draw a vertical line like this. So this vertical line will work as a reference to create the mirror. And then I go to mirror tool, click on this mirror, select the geometry which we want to mirror, select this line. Okay, once again undo. I go to mirror tool and now we have to select the geometry. And now we can make this feature by using the mirror on the one side. I go to once again mirror tool and then we need to select the elements. So I select the elements like this. So elements are selected and then select this vertical line. And now we can trim the extra parts. So go to quick trim, select this inside circle, this line, yes, and then once again yes. Select this inside circle and trim this line. Similarly on the right side we can trim these parts. Okay, so in this way we can trim the parts which we don't need. And then fit in view. And now in the end we need to insert the fillet. So go to corner option and then zoom in. And now we can insert the fillet. So I'm going to show you in fillet on one side. On the rest of the side you have to insert the fillet by yourself. So just like in this sketch we don't need this line. So first of all go to quick trim and I don't want this line. Okay, once again make a double click on this and click yes. Once again this line. Similarly this line and this line, we don't need these lines. And then we can insert fillet onto this. So click on the corner option. I select this line and this line and then radius is 10. So in this way we can insert fillet on all the corner points. So this is your homework, you have to do it yourself.